Hi everyone. Today's Sunday, August 27th, and I put together this little recording here. I know there were a lot of people that weren't able to make it to our first group run, and there was just a lot to cover, and I didn't get to all of it while we were waiting to head out. So I thought I would just put it all in one place, make it a little bit more convenient. Maybe you can listen to this while you're out for a walk or run or commuting in your car. Um, just wanted to put a few things together, uh, level set, make sure that everybody has a lot of information heading into this first week. I do want to talk about tips for success. I want to talk about running tech, how you can best use it. We're going to cover how to read these training plans, touch on gear and comfort. I also want to cover the Wednesday workout and then talk quickly about just your immediate post-run recovery tips. When I think about tips for success, I really want to focus not really about what your paces are, what the number of times you're running, how many miles you're running, but really it's about how you cultivate the habits around your fitness, your running, and your health goals. It's really the tips for success are really not specific to running. In fact, they can be applied to a lot of things. The first most important tip, as we're talking specifically about this training plan, is to carve out the time that you need to get your workouts done. So your homework today is looking ahead in that calendar, figuring out what time of the day you're going to get that run done on Tuesday or Monday or whenever it is that you have to get it done. But we need to prioritize these workouts just like you would prioritize any other meeting that you commit to. Humans in general do a terrible job of keeping our own promises to ourselves. So I challenge you to really do that. Look ahead, carve out the time that you need to get these workouts done. That is the number one thing that you can do to have a really successful training block. Tip number 2 is to not depend on motivation. Our motivation is there for that first run, maybe. It might be there for Saturday mornings, but you have a lot of other things that you have to do around this goal besides Saturday mornings. Motivation is typically just not there when we need it the most. So I have a few things to offer up, making sure that you look at all of the different goals that you might have for your training block. Having more than one goal helps us stay clear on why we're doing this in the first place. One day that finishing the race distance, it might not be enough to get us out of the bed. But if the goal is, I want to really improve my ability to run without stopping, that's going to mean more consistent workouts. Taking some time to write out the things that you're going to say to yourself when you don't feel like it. Because when you don't feel like it, it's really hard to remember, why am I doing this? What are my reasons for getting out of bed at 5:30 in the morning to go get this workout done? When you don't feel like it, all you think about are all the reasons you don't want to do it. So spend some time when your motivation is a little higher and write down a few things that you want to say to yourself. What is the positive self-talk you can have when you don't feel like it? Don't miss the group workouts. That is there's a lot of power in just getting to the group workouts. Once you get in the group, we will carry you for the rest of the way, regardless of how we feel. But oftentimes it's that getting in the car or making that left-hand turn instead of the right-hand turn where you come to the Wednesday workout instead of going home. But those group workouts, there's a lot of power in there. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be happy you did it. Finding an accountability partner. This is super helpful. If you have a running partner or even just somebody that is keeping you accountable to getting these workouts done, that can really help. That will go a long way as well. Don't want to dismiss the fact that Fleet Feet has a lot of social runs every week. They're free. They're open to the public. They're posted on the Fleet Feet website. I'll try to remember to drop in reminders in the emails each week. But there's a lot of opportunities there to run with Fleet Feet outside of our group meetups. And then finally, one of my own saying, fitness is not Amazon Prime. It's not free and it does not come overnight. So as you move into this, be patient with yourself. Don't compare yourself to other runners. Honor your current fitness level. Be consistent. Consistency in any fitness program is really where the magic happens. If you are applying that overload on a regular basis, that is the most important thing that your body needs to respond. It's waiting for those consistent signals of stress to get stronger, to get faster, to find that resiliency. All of that happens with consistency in your workout. And then trust the process. It's not going to feel great every single time you go run. You're going to have runs that feel, you're going to feel like $1,000,000. And then the very next day you can go out for a run and it feels as though you've never run in your life. So not every run can be a great run. So just trust the process, and know that the overall plan is to get you to that finish line without being injured and feeling great. I want to talk quickly about running technology. A running watch is definitely not required here. It's in my top 3 things of items that you would probably want to invest in if you think that running is going to be something you're going to stick with for the long haul. There's just a lot of power in being able to see the history of your running, tracking your data, all of that. So if you know you're going to be sticking with running for a long time, I do recommend it. However, if you don't have a watch, there are still some things that you're going to need to know. You're going to need some sort of tracking mechanism as we move on this. So as you all saw on Saturday, I will mark out these courses on Saturday, so you won't have to worry about it. You'll follow my little arrows that are on the ground. However, I will not be marking turnarounds. So I'll be marking that distance out for the longest distance for the full marathon group, but I won't be marking out every mile on the mile. You're going to need to know when it's time for you to turn around, what your halfway point is. There are a ton of apps out there that can help with this, that are on your phone, that will talk to you, that will tell you your pace, your distance, all of that. But you're going to need to spend a little time experimenting, kicking the tires on some of these things. Especially if you're not super technically savvy, they can be a little bit frustrating to get them up and running. So I really recommend that this week you spend some time experimenting and looking at some different apps that can help you with that. I put some recommendations here: Map My Run, Runkeeper, Strava. All of those they have a free version and they have a paid version. So just kind of take a look at what features are available in those free versions. And then I know we have people that are following a very regimented run walk interval. I really, really encourage you to download the Seconds app. It's free. It's pretty user friendly. You can set your run walk intervals. Your phone will beep at you when it's time to run and beep at you when it's time to walk, recover. Um, you just really don't want to be trying to run and look at your watch for a variety of reasons. I just want you to be able to uh, hear or feel, the signal that it's time to run and or it's time to walk, so that when you're running, you can just really focus on being relaxed, focus on your breathing, on your running form, and you're not trying to look at your watch. So those are my tips about tech so far. If you have questions about running technology, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm a big advocate. I'm really into running tech, and happy to talk about it if you want. Let's look at these training plans really quickly. Today is a rest day. Sundays are almost always going to be a recovery day from your long run. I really encourage you to spend Sundays kind of staying off your feet. If you really feel the need to do something, you could do an easy bike ride. You could get into the swimming pool. Really something that is giving your joints and all the pounding that you endured the day before for your long run, like giving your body a break from all that. So Sundays are usually earmarked as a rest day. they're typically also race day, but for now, they're rest days. Um, if you look at Monday and Thursday, it's marked as an easy run for everybody. The distances and the times are different. But when I say easy run, I mean easy run. I mean you should finish those runs feeling like you could do some more. We talked about this a great deal on Saturday. We are going to focus a lot in this first 5 weeks, making the easy runs really easy and making any hard efforts really hard. And then as we move into speed development, we'll focus a lot more on intensity. But for now, the majority of our running is going to be very easy, very conversational, and it allows us to build up this volume in our running so that we can run more and have less need for so much recovery. So make that easy run really easy. Then Tuesdays and Fridays, they say rest or XT. XT stands for cross training. That really can be anything except running. It can be a nice bike ride. It can be some time on the elliptical. It can be a weight training session. Or if you just need it, it can just be an additional rest day. That's why they're in there. So it's just, if you can do some cross training, great. But anything but running. That's what I want you to focus on Tuesdays and Fridays. Saturdays, of course, are our long run days. I'll be sending out emails on Friday to kind of like just remind everybody what the Saturday workout looks like, talk about any last minute reminders. So be looking for your reminder email each Friday. And then Wednesday is devoted to what we typically call our speed work day. It's not going to be a lot of speed work at the beginning. It will build into that. I will post these Wednesday workouts. Everybody will get them whether you signed up for Wednesdays and Saturdays or not. So if you can't be there on Wednesday nights, you'll have some guidance on what your workout should look like. Just a little bit about the training plans. If you have any questions, of course, please let me know. Necessary gear and comfort items. I know it goes without saying, shoes. It's super critical that you're in good shoes, that you're in the right shoes for your foot, your running experience, your body type, your running habits, etc. If you haven't gone in and been properly fitted, I highly recommend it. We really do a lot to make sure we're getting you in the right shoe, and we stand by what we put you in. So if you haven't taken time to do that, I highly recommend it. Also, just to touch quickly on socks, cotton socks are really not your friend here. You want to get into some good running socks that help wick that water away and reduce the incidence of friction and blisters. Portable hydration, I've talked about this before. There are no water stops out on our course, so super important that you find a way to carry some water. It can be with a handheld water bottle, or it can be with a hydration vest. For those of you that are doing the full marathon, I really recommend that you invest in a hydration vest. It allows you to carry ample water, but also different things. You can carry water on your back, and then you can have some smaller bottles with your electrolytes in them. There's pockets for your goos and other nutrition items. So, but regardless, everybody needs a way to carry some water when you're out on these runs. And then I just put athletic shorts and shirts on here. That's really just a reminder that we've come a long way with fabric technology. Again, running in cotton in South Texas is just really, really discouraged. It will be very uncomfortable. As our running gets longer, we're going to be out in the sun. So make sure you have a hat, a visor, get some sunscreen and some anti-chafe. That will also help with your comfort out there and post run, of course. And then as the season changes, which I know we are all looking forward to, with that comes running in the dark a little bit more. So we'll talk more when we get there. But wearing reflective devices, reflective clothing, and headlamps will be a critical thing as we move forward. A couple of notes about safety that I mentioned at the store. Please make sure you're running against traffic. It's not only important so that you can see oncoming cars and traffic, but it's also really important because that's where my arrows are marked for the route. So if you're running on the right side of the road, you're going to miss my arrows and you will be off course. Not that that's bad. If you know where you're going, I have no issue with it whatsoever. I just don't want people to get lost out there. And just want to make sure that for safety reasons, you're running on the left side of the road. And then we talked about reflective gear and a headlamp. That'll come a little bit later. Headsets and music, just reminder that you do need to be able to hear ambient noises, horns, cars, maybe if the coach is trying to yell at you, whatever it might be. So no shade at all. Wear your headsets, listen to your music, but also just make sure you can hear the ambient noises around you as well. All right, here's our first glimpse of our Wednesday workout. Um, there's some information in the email about where we meet, so please make sure you take a look at that. 5K and 10K groups, you have the same workout this week. I really don't want you to worry about your speed on the running interval. So what we'll do is we'll do a short warm up. It'll be 5 minutes of really easy jogging and a few strides. And then we will move into the running workout where you will run for 2 minutes and you will walk for one. Now, when you're running, I don't really want you to focus a lot on speed. I want you to be able to last for 2 minutes, and then your recovery can be a 1 minute walk. So we're reducing the amount of walk time um, in this workout. The 5K group, I want you to do 5 rounds of that. So that's a total of 15 minutes. 2 minutes of running, 1 minute of walking, 5 rounds. The 10K group, 2 minutes of running, 1 minute of walking, 8 rounds. So you're going to do a few more rounds. You have to run a little bit further. I just noticed on this slide it says 1 second recovery. You get 1 minute. I'll correct that, but 1 minute of recovery. Half and full marathoners, you're going to do a nice easy warm up, 5 minutes of really easy jogging and some strides. And then your main set of your workout is going to be 3 minutes in zone 4. That's really kind of like goal race pace. Like it's going to be pretty hard. Now, if you are just coming back and you don't really feel comfortable running fast, just do 3 minutes of running harder and 2 minutes of running easier. But for those of you that were with me all summer, that have some experience under your belt and you have a decent running base, we're going to focus on 3 minutes of goal race pace and then 2 minutes of recovery. You're going to do 5 rounds of that. And then after that, I want you to finish with 5 minutes of just real easy zone 2 running. I will tell you, it's really hard to go back to that super easy running after you've kind of like opened the floodgates a little bit. So really want you to focus on dialing that back in, getting back into that zone 2 space after these intervals. A couple of notes about post-run that might make things a little more comfortable. The number one thing right now, when it is so hot and we are sweating so much, is make sure that your hydration after your run includes using some electrolytes. I promise it will make your recovery so much better. I like to use Liquid IV. I like to use a new product called Element, but Noon, Gatorade, any of those things work. I do want you to avoid as much as possible using anything that has a ton of sugar in it. There's a lot of options out there that don't have an enormous amount of sugar. I would rather you get your carbohydrate source from real food as opposed to drinking your carbohydrates. I also recommend that keeping some flip-flops or recovery sandals or something in your car so you can get out of your wet shoes and socks as soon as possible. I know that my feet are soaking wet at the end of those, and it really will help the health of your feet to get out of your wet socks and shoes as soon as you can. Doing your stretching while your muscles are still warm is the best time to do your stretching. And keeping a towel and a dry shirt in your car will certainly make your ride home a little bit more comfortable and save the seats. My final reminders here, please check your email before you head out to meet up with the group. I send an email out on Fridays to talk about Saturday mornings and kind of what that plan will look like. And then I send one out either on Sundays or Mondays that's kind of going over the week ahead, any coaching tips that I have for that week. So please make sure that you check your email just in case I have to make any last minute changes. And then also, if you haven't already, please put my number in your phone. Um, I want you to be able to text me, call me if there's anything that happens while you're out on the course. Um, I'm not going to be able to help if you're out running on a Tuesday morning in your neighborhood, but specifically for Saturday mornings, please have your number, my number in your phone, just to make sure that you can get in touch with me if you need for me to come get you, or if anything has happened along the route I need to know about. All right, that's all I got for you for this week. Please make sure that you read the details in the email as well, especially about how to find us on Wednesday night. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to 15 great weeks of running. Have a great day.